Hey everyone, my name is Chrisanne Benetti and I am one of the international directors at International United Miss. We decided to start a YouTube series to kind of go in depth with all of our competitions. That way contestants, delegates, queens know what to expect going into the competition either weekend or week. So if you are interested in finding out more about our interview competition, keep on watching. So if you're still here, I know that you're wondering a little bit about our interview competition. Our interview competition is typically the most important competition at International United Miss, and honestly, that's really where the winner is determined. So we want to kind of give you the inside scoop about how you are judged and what kinds of questions you'll be asked and the judging criteria. So whether you are competing for the state title, I love our state crown, or our international title, or even our national titles, there are a few tips and tricks that we would like to give to you to really do your personal best in our interview competition. Now, I know that this video can be lengthy and some of the tips that I have for the different divisions will vary, so I will leave a timestamp with your particular division underneath, so feel free, you don't have to watch the entire video, to scroll to your specific section so that you can watch it that way. And then at the very end, we'll kind of just do a generalized sum up of everything that I talked about. So if you are very interested in watching, scroll to your specific timestamp now. All right, so if you're here with me now, you are either a princess or a junior preteen. So we are going to go over a little bit about what kinds of questions we ask first. We try to make this process for our little ones as fun and as stress-free as possible. All of the questions that our junior preteen and princess delegates will get asked will be off of their introduction. So basically, if you said that you like to read, or you talk about your platform, or you want to talk about school in your introduction, those are the kinds of questions that you'll be asked. Now, my suggestion is, if there's something that your daughter, because I know I'm pretty much talking to the moms right now, and that's cool. Hey moms, I think it's great that you're taking the time to watch this video so that you can help your daughters prepare. But I will say that if there is a subject that your daughter is not comfortable speaking about, or really can't talk about, with, either passion, or even if they have that little bit of comfort level talking about it, don't put it in their introduction. We have had situations where people put their platform into their introduction, and it was a little one. And when the judges asked about the platform, because that is fair game, it was in your intro, the little one said, well, my mommy told me to say that, so I really don't know. So please, anything that you put in the introduction, be prepared to talk about. That is very important. Our interview process is round robin style, and you will have 3 minutes with each judge individually. They will be taking notes during your introduction, so if they're not looking at you during intro, it really isn't a bad thing. They're taking notes so that when you go into the interview room, they have lots of questions to ask. We tell them to take notes on things they either find interesting or unique, or something that they can connect with. That way the interview portion is more of a conversation, not an interrogation. They will not be asked random questions like, if you were a superhero, what superpower would you have and why? This is more about, so you said you're a third grader. Tell me the best thing about being in third grade. Or if they talk about, reading to the animals, tell me what book that you read to the animals, and how often do you read the books to the animals? That kind of question. If the conversation turns a little bit dry, or they're running out of things to talk about, they then focus those questions solely on the girl. So it would be like, tell me about school. What's your favorite subject in school? Do you have a favorite teacher? Tell me something funny about you. It's all about the girl. We've never had anyone come out of interview feeling super uncomfortable, especially in the princess or junior preteen division. But I will say, one thing that the girls are judged on is the fact that they are genuine and natural. So moms, please, the absolute worst thing you can do for IUM, I'm not saying it's for all systems, but for IUM, is to write out the answer that your daughter should be saying and to have her memorize that. We definitely do not suggest that because it does sound like they're reading off of a page and it doesn't sound like they're being genuine or natural. And points will be deducted and they will leave comments as to why. So please, we do instruct our judges that we are looking for genuine, fun answers. Let them answer. We've had some pretty great answers throughout the years, some that are so funny. I really should write a book and and release that because some of the answers have been really funny. And don't necessarily worry about saying the wrong thing or your daughter saying the wrong thing. It's more about showing their personality and showing what's important to them. Junior, preteen, and princess contestants also should have absolutely no makeup on. I know that some people asked about clear mascara, but I'm going to tell you that if it looks like they are wearing mascara in any capacity, points will be taken off. So I say don't do it at all. If anything, because I also get really chapped lips, it's a natural thing, and especially depending on what time of the year. If I was a princess and junior preteen delegate, I'm missing my glory days, but if I was one of those delegates, my mom would have put a chapstick, and that is literally it, an untinted chapstick, just to take away the chapped lips. So please, we are very strict on our no makeup rule. If it looks like your daughter is wearing makeup, they will comment on it in the score sheet. What's also great about International United Miss is that if they take off any points or if they feel like, there was room for improvement, or even if someone did something great, they write comments and you get the comments right after your crowning ceremony, which means that you'll have the immediate comments in the judge's original handwriting directly after the pageant. There's no waiting. There's no months of waiting. You don't have to pay for them. They're free. So it's great because our whole purpose at International United Miss is to help you as a competitor grow. Not even in the pageant world. We want you to grow as a person. Interview skills are something that are crucial, especially in today's day and age. So that's why we take interview and we have that as the highest percentage of score. I know at states it's 50%. The percentage goes lower at internationals because we do have another category that we add in. But at states, it is 50% of your score, so that's how important interview is. So as long as you're being honest, you're making good eye contact, you're not fidgeting so much, and you're being confident, you're going to score high. Just talk, right? No one wants to be able to pull or have to pull information out of you. Volunteer the information. Each girl has a unique story. It's just up to you to tell it. And moms, help. It might be a better idea, instead of writing out exactly what your daughter should say, bullet some important information for each topic that's in their introduction, right? So let's say, for example, I play soccer, I'm a straight A student, I like to travel. I might bullet some important things, like, for example, traveling, maybe the top 3 places I've been. If there was a fun or funny travel story, I have a million of those. Or, even the soccer, like what position I play, if I play for more than one team, how long I've been playing. Also, maybe my favorite soccer player, just in case that does get asked. You never know. But again, we want them to be as natural and as unrehearsed as physically possible. If you have any further questions about junior, preteen, or princess interview, feel free to email the international office. We are very quick at answering our emails, and you'll get an answer within 24 hours. We take our communication very seriously at International United Miss. So if you are a junior, preteen, or princess delegate, feel free to then skip to the last timestamp that I'll put in the comments, and we'll do the sum up there. But thank you for watching. And now we're moving on to the preteen, junior teen, and teen division. So, as you get older, a little bit more comes along with the interview portion of competition. You are interviewing pretty much for a job. The title comes along with a job that you'll be representing for a year. So going into that, we kind of should have an idea of what we're going to do with our title. What it would mean to us if we won. Kind of like a game plan or a marketing strategy for what we would do to promote ourselves and the title. If you have a platform, put that in there too, because we really do encourage girls to work towards something for the year. And then you'd have the support of International United Miss as well, helping you along with your platform. We're very big, and our big hashtag is Sisters by Sash. And we truly mean that. We want you to form connections and relationships with people to where if you do have a platform or a drive or whatever the case, your sisters want to get involved and help you in these efforts. And that is so important to us. So please make sure that you are, talking about these things in the interview room. Now, again, some of your questions will come off of your introduction. A lot of them will, especially if they find things interesting or if they connect with something in your introduction. They might be writing while you're talking and not looking at you, and that's totally fine. Don't so much worry about that. The real purpose of introduction is to kind of get an idea and some base content for the interview. There are some judges who are so serious about finding a brand ambassador, because we do really push that point. We are looking for a brand ambassador, someone who is going to be the face and the voice of our system for a year. So with that being said, the why you want to win, the what would you do with the title are all fair game. If a judge, especially at the international level, we take that even more seriously. So what the judges, they do have downtime. They are encouraged to look up your social media. They're encouraged to look you up, Google you. So make sure that everything on your social media is clean. You have, good content. You are positive and encouraging, because these are all things that we are looking for individual as a title holder for our system. And I can't stress the importance of keeping that image regardless of whether you are competing in a pageant or not. It's so important to keep that image positive and, and to keep a clean social media, not only for pageants, but for life. Also, a lot of questions, like let's say, for example, you bring up a platform. They can go as far as possible into that platform. So if it's something you're not comfortable talking about, or you really don't know a lot about your platform, you might want to keep it out of your introduction for International United Miss, because they are encouraged to kind of dig deep and see how serious you really are about these things. If you open a door, so for example, your questions will come off of your introduction, right? But if you open a door, or if they see something on your social media, or even if they see something in the hotel, right? And they see that you maybe made a comment, whatever, that's all fair game and can be brought up in the interview room. So let's say, for example, I'm talking about my platform of breast cancer awareness. Okay, because that is technically my personal platform. And then while I'm talking about breast cancer awareness and how I've done walks and raised money, I could say, within the same year, I also went to a walk for this. So if I say that topic, that is also fair game. They can ask me about it. So if I'm talking about, let's take a simpler example of this. Let's say I'm talking about my love of travel. My goal is to travel the world. I know it's an unrealistic goal, but I want to see as many countries as possible. So if I'm talking about the fact that I've been to several European countries so far, and I have a whole list of other ones that I want to go to, and let's say I bring up my most recent trip, which was to France. France is now fair game, and they can ask me anything they want about France, especially if that's somewhere that they really want to go. They might absolutely ask me about it. You don't necessarily have to have a platform, but if you do and you want to talk about it, make sure you know your stuff, know your statistics, know the important information. That is crucial. Whatever you put in your introduction, you should be able to talk about. I also said this to the Princess and Junior Preteen delegates, but also we want you to sound as unrehearsed and as natural as physically possible. Please do not practice as if you're reading off of a page and trying to memorize specific answers. That is the absolute worst thing you can do, because they will take points off, and they will tell you why. We want natural, genuine conversation. You'll notice that the tone of the interview room is very light and fun and uplifting. We want the same thing as you're going through the interview process. So, it's a no stress situation, and we want you to have fun and really get your story out, right? You each have an individual and unique story. It is your job to get that out to the judges and show them why, A, you're deserving, and B, why you want to win. That's really the most important. If you show them why, and you have confidence and you have personality, that is really what we're all about at International United Miss. If you have any specific questions about interview specifically, because this is an interview video only, feel free to email the international office at info@internationalunitedmiss.com. All right. So if you are a preteen, a junior teen, a teen, thank you so much for watching, and I'll give the sum up portion of our video at the very in our comment section. So be sure to scroll to the end of that video if you don't want to watch Teen Miss or Ms. But if not, thank you for watching. And now we're moving on to Miss and Ms. Miss and Ms. are kind of like, we like to affectionately call them like the moms of the group, right? You have a lot of little sister queens who look up to you, especially if you were to win the state title, right? You'll have the princess, the junior preteen, the junior teen, and the teen, who will all look up to you, the Miss and Ms. You are the role models. You kind of set the tone for your group. So this is the two most important groups, and there's specific questions that could potentially be asked in your group. How would you incorporate your sister queens in with your activities? How would you be a role model to others? Why is it important to be a role model? If you brought up anything in your introduction is also fair game. So if you have a platform, they can dive deep into that. Especially at the international competition, I did say with the preteen, junior teen, and teen that if they really see you as a, someone that they really like, they could look you up on social media and see how your social media presence is as well. So please just make sure to keep that positive, uplifting, clean, as clean as possible, because we are about being a role model, and these girls do genuinely look up to you. Our website does say that current events can be asked, and the only reason why a current event question would be asked is if you either brought it up in your introduction, you brought it up while you were talking, or it's part of your platform. Let's say you bring up a platform. Anything like that is fair game. So if you bring up something in your introduction or in the interview room, know what you're talking about. Again, like all the other divisions, we are looking for natural, non-rehearsed answers. That's exceptionally important. If you are practicing reading a script to answer your questions, I guarantee you it will not score high. Just talk. The way that I would practice is I would make a bulleted list, and if there was something that I really wanted to get out, I'd make sure that I learned how to talk about my answer, to give my answer using some of the bulleted points. That way I don't sound like I'm reading off of a page. That's very important. Be like natural, genuine. Keep the conversation going. Talk. It shows that you're not shy, which is so important because we need title holders who are approachable, who people don't feel uncomfortable coming up to and talking to, but also you need to be able to kind of guide that conversation. Sometimes when a little one comes up to an older girl, they might be a little bit timid or scared or, just intimidated, right? Because like you have the sparkly hat on. You need to be able to kind of guide that conversation and make people feel comfortable talking to you. That's really what we are looking for. Know what you want to do with the title. Have a marketing or a game plan figured out for yourself. It's so important because it shows that you're serious about this. Again, you are interviewing for a job. And the job would be whatever the title that you're competing for is, whether it's a state title or an international or national title. We can't stress how important this is for you. You are allowed makeup, obviously, but I'm going to tell you that you don't want your makeup to be super distracting. So for example, let's say I'm wearing a blue interview outfit and I have bright blue eyeshadow. That might be distracting to a judge, and they might be looking at your eyeshadow and not really listening to what you're saying. So please make sure that the way that you would go into this interview is the way you would approach a job interview, which again would be more of like a natural face. Makeup is of course allowed, but we don't want anything super distracting. Super big bows might be a little bit distracting, but again, if that is your personality and you go in with a vibrant personality and they're really listening to what you're saying, great. That's what we're really more concerned about. If you have any specific questions based on the interview portion of the competition, make sure to email the international office. We make ourselves available to you. We answer our emails very quickly, our Facebook messages pretty quickly, because communication is so important, and we want you to feel comfortable and ready for whatever title it is that you're competing for with us at International United Miss. All right, thank you. I know this has kind of been a little bit on the longer side, but that's okay. We are going to go over each competition individually. That way you can kind of get a feel for what, we judge on, or what we're looking for, and everything like that, because we want to be as transparent as possible. We want you to come into pageant weekend or week or day feeling as confident and as ready as physically possible. Okay, so now I'm going to just sum up what I said in the video. Again, the most important thing for every single division is to be as natural and unrehearsed as physically possible. I cannot stress that enough. I say that throughout the entire year, but I can't stress how important it is. And it is so important that you come in natural and unrehearsed. If you are rehearsed, or that's something that, you've been told to do, it might work for other systems. It will not work for you here. And we are genuinely telling you this to help you. We want you to do well. Your introduction will be primarily where they get the information off of. But remember, preteen and up, they can ask you about why you want to win the title. What would you do with the title? You are applying for a job, right? So maybe even look up a little bit about the system, why you were attracted to the system in the first place, what it would mean to you if you won. These are things that you should really be, taking the time and thinking about. Show them why you want it, and give them no reason why they shouldn't give it to you. It's so important to just approach the interview process like this. Again, we are a no stress pageant, so usually it's me in the interview room with you, but we are telling jokes and de-stressing you because we want you to go in and feel as comfortable as possible. The more comfortable you are and the less stressed you are, the better you are going to do in this portion of competition, because you'll be talking genuinely. So please go into the interview portion like that. Don't be nervous. These judges are not mean. They're not trying to trick you up on a question. They just genuinely want to get to know you, and they are looking for brand ambassadors for our system. And one more point to make: the hair and makeup rules, preteen and below, there is no makeup at all. You may have your hair done. That's totally fine. If you want to wear a chapstick, totally fine. It cannot be tinted. Junior teen, miss, and ms, just go with, in the interview portion, just go with like a light, natural face. Makeup is fine, but we don't want to be cakey for the interview portion. You wouldn't go into a job interview like that. Don't go into this interview like that. It's distracting. If you have any other questions on our interview portion of competition, please make sure to email the international office at International United Miss info at internationalunitedmiss.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that we gave you a little bit of clarity into what we are looking for in the interview section of competition. It is our most important area of competition. Stay tuned and make sure that you are subscribed to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below to keep up to date with our videos of each competition broken down individually. And then we'll go into some misconceptions and some fun facts about International United Miss. So just make sure you're subscribed, and if you want, hit that notification bell. That way every time we upload, they let you know. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you at either one of our state pageants or the international or national competition in the summer. Have a great day, everyone, and remember that at IUM, you matter most.